Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Magnum Gold Corp. Inc., MGI on the TSX Venture Exchange. A 2015 drill program on the LH property intersected high-grade gold, including 16.9 meters of 13.58 grams and 11 meters of 20.66 grams per ton gold. A follow-up drill program is planned to further evaluate previously identified subsurface high-grade gold mineralization. Please visit our website at magnumgoldcorp.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Rick Ackerman, editor of the newsletter Rick's Picks, his website, rickackerman.com. Welcome back to the show, Rick.
Always a pleasure to join you, Jim. Thanks for inviting me.
Since last Friday, we've seen a meltdown on the equity markets. What's behind it?
Well, there doesn't always have to be something behind it. Anybody out there, even the most bullish bull, knew that it was due for some sort of correction. We haven't had even a 5%er, let a 10%er, in as far back as most of us traders can even remember. So, let's just say it was long overdue. I don't think the newspapers have that unfortunate responsibility, the news media, of providing reasons. So they're saying, well, the market is somehow fearing inflation. I've got about as much fear of that as I do of a Venusian invasion of planet Earth. But when you put out a news story, you got to say, well, it happened for a reason. I'm going to say it happened for no good reason at all. Certain things are ordained by the cosmos. The market has its own cyclical rhythms, and we're in one of those rhythms where selling was going to happen.
Well, of course, you can only climb so far, so fast without some pullback.
Yeah, and you say so far and so fast, but when you attempt to quantify those things, to trade it, to get a handle on it, it becomes pretty difficult. And it turns out that most huge rallies, the biggest piece of them occurs with the stochastic indicator in the egregiously overbought range. So sometimes when you use these technical indicators, it says the market is overbought as hell, and then it just keeps going. So it's really impossible to quantify. I did have a target with the E-mini S&Ps that caught the high back on the 29th of January within about 3 or 4 points, but it's just guesswork. If it falls from that high, we're not going to be too surprised. But I'm using my own targets to give you the benefit of those as since we're here talking. The Dow, I could see a fall to a minimum 23,552, which is about almost 1,000 points below where we're trading now. And just the key support, to make this a very precise forecast, is 24,423. So if your listeners will jot that down, that's 24,423. If we close below that for today, so if we close substantially below it, I'm going to just about guarantee you that we're going to come down 1,000 points to the target, which is 23,552. So that is a feature of the technical method that I use. We can try to get it down to a really fine science about where things are going.
What happens during the rest of the week?
Well, it's those in-betweens that are certainly difficult to trade, because we're in a downtrend now. From a trader's perspective, it's difficult because, the market has come down so hard that everybody's bearish. They're not freaked yet. We haven't seen fear or panic at all. Maybe the opposite. Maybe there's a little bit too much confidence that this is just a correction and it's going to be quickly recovered. But there are enough bears, or everybody's at least wary enough that that the easy bet, in other words, well, we're all bearish, it's going lower. The easy bet is just getting short the market, making money when it falls. And of course, when everybody gets on one side of the market, whatever they're trading takes diabolically evasive moves to avoid having it be the case that they're all making money hand over fist with no effort. So, and everybody might be right. We might have a preponderance of bears out there, or maybe 90% of all traders and even hedge fund guys are bearish right now, and they may be right. They may all be right that the Dow is going to fall another 1,000 points or 2,000 points, but you'd be amazed at how the counter trend moves can be so ferocious as to shake them loose from those even the firmest convictions.
Now, we have a whole new generation of traders here for 9 years who've seen nothing but increases, except for, again, a minor correction 2 years ago. So do they know how to deal with something like this if it is well, I won't say a permanent downturn, but you know what I mean, a shorter term range of going down?
You need not fear for their trading successes. They're congenitally endowed with success. All the idiots who came in, they've never seen a bear market. They are absolutely destined to make money in the early phases of whatever happened. They've got sort of an idiot savant's genius for trading, for doing the right thing. But it's really akin to, you've heard this before, that the first time we go to the racetrack, we always hit a trifecta or something like that. It's kind of karmically ordained that first time out we're thinking, geez, this is such an easy game. I picked 3 winners today in the first 7 races, and it's the same thing with the stock market. So they're going to double their bet size next time around, and that's when they're going to get taken out on a gurney.
We'll have more with Rick Ackerman right after this.
I'm Greg Johnston, CEO of Carl Data Solutions, an industrial Internet of Things company that provides big data solutions for monitoring critical infrastructure. Carl Data offers machine learning and predictive analytics features through our cloud-based applications to deliver key asset-saving operational insights from massive amounts of data. Carl Data trades on the CSE, symbol CRL, and the Pink, symbol CDTAF. For more details on Carl Data, please visit carlsolutions.com.
I'm Bill McWilliam, president of Cascadero Copper, CCD on the TSX Venture Exchange. Cesium is one of the world's rarest metals with a growing industrial demand. Drilling is underway on our Tehran property in Argentina to prove up a cesium resource. Cascadero's patent-pending leach process has the potential to make Cascadero the lowest cost supplier of cesium in the world. Visit our website, cascadero.com, or phone us at 604-924-5504.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Rick Ackerman. Rick, what's happening on the equity markets, has that shaken out to affect other areas of investment?
It's really hard to tell. We've got oil sort of going against what had been a pretty strong uptrend, and you wonder if it's just getting hit for reasons of allocation needs of various portfolio managers or whatever, or hedge funds. But it's kind of counter trend. Gold has been doing what it really does so well, which is disappoint bulls. Throughout this whole, if there's a crisis, gold surely doesn't know it. It's come down, 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 down. It's just been a little piggy, and we've talked about this numerous times. Gold's propensity on rallies to take us just to that threshold where we're starting to feel encouraged, and then to dash everybody's hopes, and bring them almost to the brink of despair, but certainly of discouragement. So gold is in that mode now. It certainly hasn't caught a whiff of crisis, and I think that is probably supportive of the idea that this big break in the market is going to be temporary, that it's going to be bounding to new all-time highs sometime soon.
And is that where you were saying the puppies will end up losing their lunch?
No, I think they are still bullish, and they are properly regarding what's going on right now as just corrective. Their faith has not been shaken, so they'll be on board for the next big rally, but they will also be hugely, massively, fatally long at the top.
For the average investor, what should they be doing right now?
Well, it's very much a counter-trend bet, but I still like bonds. But let me give you a number, as long as we're talking about very precise places to get in. T-bonds are currently trading, T-bond futures around 144. I think they're going to fall, and I'm a bull now, I think they're going to fall all the way to 130 before they turn around. And one way you can trade that, or to give you something easier to remember, I think that T-bonds will be a good bet. We may be at the end of the bearish trend in T-bonds. We've had a rise in interest rates and a fall in bond prices. I'm looking for 3.11% on a 10-year note. And as I speak, it is trading at, 2.8. Let me get rid of this, see if I can push things around. 2.83%. And I've had that forecast out for a pretty good while, since we were down at around 2.3%. So it's had a giant move, but I think it's got farther to go, all the way up to 3.11% on a 10-year. So if you just remember that interest rate in the back of your head, and you call your broker and you ask him, what can I do to make money if interest rates are topping here, that'll be the best way to do that bet.
We'll have more with Rick Ackerman right after this.
Cypress Development Corp's flagship lithium project is located just east of Albemarle's Silver Peak mine in the heart of Clayton Valley, Nevada. A 12-hole exploration drill program for lithium-enriched claystone on Cypress's 100% controlled properties is now underway. Cypress Development Corp trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol CYP, the Pink's CYDVF, and on Frankfurt's C1Z1. For more information, please visit our website, cypressdevelopmentcorp.com.
Keep informed. Receive our weekly recap of thought-provoking articles, podcasts, and radio delivered to your inbox for free. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage, HowStreet.com. Welcome back. We're chatting with Rick Ackerman. Rick, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have really taken a beating lately. Some people have even suggested they could disappear. What's your opinion?
I don't think Bitcoin is going to go away. And in fact, we've seen a few Tesla stories on Bitcoin lately. You can see that Bitcoin is firmly in the hands of people who are adept enough to manipulate the news. So with respect to Tesla, you can remember a time when the Tesla story was always accompanied by a picture of a Tesla with flames leaping out from under the hood on the side of the road, another Tesla battery problem. The only reason that for all I know, that fire was started, but the story was simply to shake loose Tesla shares so that the scuzzballs that control and manipulate the markets for a living can accumulate Tesla shares at the expense of widows, orphans, and pensioners who own those shares. All right, so we're seeing the same thing in Bitcoin in terms of the news cycle. We've got stories about, the regulators are coming after this Bitcoin dealer or this or that. So we get a drumbeat of absolutely planted stories. And since nobody in the news media and the business press has an IQ above 60, they absolutely love these stories. They're too lazy to find out what's going on, so they all take 100% of the time planted stories. So we're starting to see stories that clearly have negative consequences for Bitcoin, and to the extent that we know those stories are being planted by guys trying to drive the price down that we can accumulate so that they can accumulate Bitcoin, we have to be bullish on Bitcoin right here. But the price, the way it fluctuates now, it's definitely changed because we've finally got some people with real skin in the game. Initially Bitcoin was up there at $18,000, and most of the, numerically speaking, most of the holders of Bitcoin had no real skin in the game. They're computer geeks who had Bitcoin from the time it was, $200, and they're smacking their lips up at $18,000 and thinking, great, what have I got to lose? But you also see in that dynamic, some of them will be encouraged to buy a little more Bitcoin. They've got a couple Bitcoin from 200. Some of them actually take the plunge and buy a couple more coins at 15,000. So now we really do have supply between 10 and 20,000. There's some players, computer geeks from much lower levels who are actually in and can get burned. So it's going to become more of a real. The real forces are going to be not that it's not real forces driving it at any time, but I think that the dynamic of how it moves is going to change a little bit. And you can see, no matter what I'm telling you about the trading world, the best way to appreciate what's going on is to be absolutely cynical about every little piece of it.
Some too have suggested, because it's younger people who've got involved in Bitcoin, this could be a real lesson to them about the risks of getting into anything.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be allowed to make a lot more money before they learn that lesson. They're going to, meaning we're going to go to new all-time highs above whatever it is, 23,000 on Bitcoin. We got to get them really gloating over the success. They had a little bit of gloating, but they really got smacked down more recently, smacked down pretty hard. And so we're in a kind of cycle of rebuilding their confidence so that it becomes so excessive that they get the idea that no matter what they pay for Bitcoin, they can't lose. So let me give you a target and a couple numbers for Bitcoin. I'm using BRTI. It's a symbol. It's not a trading vehicle. It simply reflects the small space between the lowest offer and the highest bid across many Bitcoin exchanges. I could see 22,618 on Bitcoin. That target would be theoretically in play on a print, let's say a 2-day close above 10,082. And we're currently 8,200, so we need about an $1,800 rally to trip a theoretical buy signal for Bitcoin. And the very crucial price, if it keeps going, meaning we don't take out the recent low at 5,900, is 14,260. If we close for a few days above that or trade intraday above it, like significantly above 15,000, I would say that 22,618 target is a done deal.
Rick, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Always a pleasure, Jim.
My guest has been Rick Ackerman, editor of the newsletter Rick's Picks, his website, rickackerman.com. If you have any questions for Rick or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.